There is a social media influencer by the name of Maddie Mayo who is taking credit for, this is her direct quote, unintentionally starting a movement that will change your life.
Oh.
And that movement is silent walking, meaning you go on a walk outside with no AirPods, no phone.
Oh, what people did for thousands and thousands of years. Oh.
You're just walking without technology.
Everyone did that until 1980, 1985 maybe.
And she says it will change your life.
My goodness.
Yeah, at first she said, this is what she said, that she explained her boyfriend was the one who challenged her to take a walk without any distractions. And she said, no AirPods, no podcasts, no music, just me, myself, and I. And at first I was like, F no. My anxiety could never, which is probably what you're thinking. But something within me was like, let me just try it. She goes on to say, she is taking credit for unintentionally starting a movement that she says will change your life. And it's silent walking. And she said the first 2 minutes were mayhem. Mayhem.
I can't listen to Jared and Katie.
Right.
I can't handle it.
Mayhem. Until she hit 2 minutes in, and then all of a sudden she was in a flow state.
Oh,
is that a bird?
Man, yeah.
I love how
Zoomed out.
self-aware she is.
Yeah.
And she said then, when you're in the flow state, you can hear yourself. And somebody goes, it's called thinking.
Yeah. Which you clearly aren't doing when you're talking about silent walking.
This is the same idea. Do you remember we had audio not so long ago of this? And she's not wrong, because I do think that there's a need for it. But how this babysitter was like, there needs to be something. Took to social media.
Yeah.
There needs to be something in the home that, like, in case of emergency and your cell phones aren't working, that like you can just, like pick up, do whatever and call somebody.
She's like, there should be a home
There should be
phone.
a home phone. What she was describing
She
was the
wasn't
home
being
phone.
sarcastic.
No,
she was just like, didn't know it was a thing.
She grew up without it.
Well,
so,
maybe she's actually pretty smart, because she was thinking of a good idea that she
Yes.
really didn't know ever existed. But as far as this, the silent walking, I think the silent walking for me is best when you're in a different place. For instance, the same routine over and over, I can see it once in a while. But when you're in a different town or a different walk for morning, or you're doing something, you could take in something because you're not there. So you're taking in all this new stuff, right?
Yeah.
When you're on the same beaten path all the time, over and over and over.
Well, I
becomes
think that's the point of it, though, is that you are walking without distraction. Like if you go to a new place, I wouldn't be like thinking of how I'm feeling and processing my day and reflecting and stuff, because I'd be like,
Because
oh,
you're
look, there's a new store,
Right.
or oh, look, there's a restaurant, or
Right.
whatever. But if you're just doing that same path every day, you do get into the flow state. It's just funny to hear her describe it when it's like
she invented
this is the
silent
thing.
walking. Right.
Yeah.
Are you brave enough to face the silence, Gen Z? Dare to step into the unknown, silent walking. No music, no podcasts, no earpods, just you, the night, and your thoughts. Feel the chill down your spine as you walk without the digital noise. Silent walking if you dare. In other words, just walking.
Yeah, I mean, it does take courage.
It does.
And these are brave people.
I do agree, though, about the flow state thing, because even though I despise working out, the hardest part is getting there. And the first, I'm going to say 10 minutes. I don't think 2 minutes. I think 2 is too little, but
There's
10.
you still have enough time to turn around.
Yes. And 2, you're still like, I hate this. I hate everything about this.
Yeah.
And then at 10, you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I have 20 more minutes to go. I can do it.
Maybe
You
that's
do.
because the endorphins are kicking
I
in
think
a
it
little bit.
is. So you do hit that flow state, but it's just
Because it's like when you go for do you ever run?
yeah, no.
Never
Does this body
It's the dumbest
look
question
like
you've
it
ever
runs?
asked.
And you got
Try
a lot
to
of
run
that
then.
money.
I mean, I've tried numerous times in my life to become a runner, and it's never taken off.
Okay, well then never mind.
Ever.
Nobody will be able to really.
Actually, Squid goes on the treadmill, but anyway.
Yeah.
Running at the first and I don't like to run either.
Yeah.
I like to, especially treadmill, but I do. But when you run, the first 5 minutes is just awful.
Yeah.
You hate it. Like
Every
I
second.
hate it more than ever.
Your body hurts. You can't breathe right.
You feel like
Yeah.
you're never going to make it.
Yeah.
Never going to make it. Then it all kind of starts balancing out, and it's just like it's not as horrible as it is, but it's a lot better. I think it's the endorphins.
I think it is too. You get into your rhythm. And to be honest, when I was in college at Appalachian State, I went to the gym and I would run on the treadmill.
But that's boring.
It's not so bad when you have your music on.
No, but when you can experience, like, when you're running around like a great day in nature,
Mm.
a lot
See,
better.
but then when I lived in Winston, my girlfriend Audrey and I would run all the time around Winston, and I did like it, but it wasn't predictable enough for me. Like the treadmill, I can get into the pace of it.
You know where you're going.
Right. And when you're running outside, there could be a hill and you're not prepared.
Right.
You, gotta go, you
No.
should know the route.
Well, if it's new.
If it's new,
Yeah,
but we did used to run a lot, and it does take a little bit, and then you get into your groove, but it's just not for
Like
me.
your neighborhood. You
Yeah.
probably could run around your neighborhood.
Running's not for me, Jason.
Oh.
Your
It's just
neighborhood
not.
is hills.
I don't have bad knees, but I have bad knees when it comes to running.
Or drive yourself to the top of the hill,
And then run down.
and then have your husband take you back to your car.
Perfect.
There you go.
Perfect. Although I would be embarrassed to ask him, I think.
Yeah.
Real quick, I want to tell you there is a woman who basically caved to a man who invited her on a date, saying that he was very relentless, and she decided to go on the date only to be left with the very expensive bill. And I think it could be her order that did it.
Today I was bored and I had time, so he texted me like, can we meet for drinks? And I'm like, yeah, meet me here. They got the best oysters in Atlanta. Y'all, when the fourth one came out, he was looking at me crazy. I'm like, baby, you invited me out. I'm gonna eat these potatoes and the crab cakes. Why say he going to the bathroom and never come back? It's been like 10, 20, 30 minutes.
Oh my
He ended up
gosh.
grabbing a tab. That was crazy to me.
How much did she?
She ordered 48 oysters.
Oh my God!
48.
48
They're
oysters.
the best in Atlanta.
Well, she
40.
48
he
oysters.
should have left.
Yeah.
Psycho.
And the crab cakes and the potatoes. And then she was like, you invited me out. And that's how I feel. I'm going to eat.
I'm a eat.
Yeah.
Now, as someone like going on dates
Yeah.
or whatever, I remember going on a date, and I don't drink, right?
Yeah.
And so normally I go
excuse
out. I've dated people to go to my church, not all the time. They go to my church, so I don't even factor that in at all.
Ooh.
I remember being on a first date, and the person like ordered 3 drinks, and like I think my soda at $3 is expensive.
Yeah.
So in my mind, like, oh, the bill's gonna be 40, and it's like 80. I'm like, oh,
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
no, can we not do that? 'Cause that's not my world at all. I'm not even thinking that
You
it's going to
should
be
just-
$10
And
each
just
time.
think
Yeah.
if both
Or
people are
$12.
drinking, how expensive it gets.
That's why my husband doesn't take me on dates. He's just like, we have wine at home. Wine at home. What you should do, Jared, see if this works. Like, just pull this the next time. Say, it's against my religion. Like, I don't drink, and
offended.
so I can't pay it.
Yeah,
Like,
I
I
can't
can't pay
that
for
part.
alcohol.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I agreed to pay for dinner. I was like,
Yeah. Like, pay for the dinner part, but say, I can't.
yeah.
Religiously, I can't.
That is,
That's a good point. That's a
that
good
is
point.
a little awkward off the bat.
Seriously, when soda's like $3, I'm freaking out.
You won't go somewhere that doesn't have free refills.
No. So yeah. So you, ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it gets expensive.